Ex-convicts. What advice would you give people going to prison for the first time that people who haven't been might not be aware of? I went to prison in the UK. There were a couple of Americans in there, and we talked about the differences. There's not many, so maybe this might be of some help. All the scary stuff that you hear about, the rapes and violence, is mostly nonsense. Prison is mostly just a waste of time. It's very boring, so develop a plan to pass the time, and that's your life until your sentence is up. This is where the saying, "there are only 2 days you remember in prison, the day you go in and the day you get out," comes from, because every day is like Groundhog Day. You're just doing the same thing over and over. When you settle into your routine, the days will fly, but time will drag when you're close to getting out. On dealing with people inside, always remember that they're likely annoyed because they're in prison, not sleeping well, and their life has probably gone to rubbish. So give people their space. It worked for me. There are actually some fun things to look forward to. Everyone inside has a story to tell, and you got a lot of time to tell them. So joking around and telling stories is pretty fun and a good way to pass the time. Don't try to be a supervillain. The contacts and friends you make inside can make this a possibility. Focus on getting out and enjoying the rest of your life. Use the rubbish days you have inside to pull you through the rough days outside. The feeling you have when you get out is amazing, but do realise it takes time to adjust. Don't frick it up. Correctional officer here. Shocked to see such an accurate description of prison life. Clearly, you've actually done time. Where I work, the time is what the offender makes it. If you come in wanting to join a gang, get in fights and cause trouble, that's what's going to happen. If you come in to keep your nose clean, do your time and maybe better yourself a little, that's what's going to happen. We have plenty of offenders doing 20 years of super easy time, playing softball, reading and watching TV, never even getting in a fight. No way, that's mad. I didn't even realise they had TVs in prison. Am I just super unaware of things, or did everyone else think that? More likely than not, you'll be fine if you're not an a-hole and can mind your own business. Most of the time, people just want to do their time and go home. The lifers and gang members are the ones that don't give a frick. Never, ever, ever owe anyone anything. No one in there is going to just do you a favour. If you eat that honey bun I offered you, then you fricking owe me. People will run through your canteen and jack everything before you can finish chewing up a duplex. Mind your own business. Don't share personal information with anyone. Tear addresses off of your mail and destroy them. Cover up the phone pad when putting in numbers. Motherfrickers can and will terrorise your family on the outside for money, or to influence your actions on the inside for their benefit. Be smart. Mind your own. Keep your head up and never owe anyone. It'll be alright and time always passed. The hard part is being stuck with yourself. I did 8 months in the County Justice Centre. 1. Not everyone is out to get you. Relax. 2. Don't relax too much. People will take advantage of you. 3. Learn if you can. I learned Spanish, started learning Russian, a little bit of a trade skill, and enhanced my vocabulary while in. 4. Stay fairly low-key, but not a hermit. No one likes too much of a social butterfly. Do not whistle. Flush right when you poo, as you don't want to stink up the room. Be low-key, and try not to get in debt with anybody. That poo will hit you back twice as hard. Don't be Mr. Nice Guy. People will abuse that. If you're in a bad jail, you should poop with one leg out of your pants. You don't want to get ambushed when your legs are trapped inside your pants, so leave one leg out. Geez, that is terrifying. The things you've got to think about, honestly. Read books. You're going to waste a lot of time doing nothing. It's better to come out being educated than knowing every episode of The Deadliest Catch in Breaking Bad. While fiction books can burn some time, finding a subject that really interests you and actually learning is the best bet. Find intelligent people to talk to. There aren't many, but there are some. Don't waste your time with poo politics. Do not pick on the child molesters either. Some of these people are also murderers, meaning they have raped and killed children or adults or whatever. Some of them are doing many years and are sick of being mistreated. I seen a child molester microwave Vaseline and then pour it on some young kid's face because he was going around telling everyone he was a child molester. Some of the creeps surprise you and do some messed up stuff. I also seen a guy microwave and eat a seagull. A seagull? How'd you catch the things? Honestly, they're so quick. But anyway, just chucking it in the microwave? Hello, food poisoning? You might think it's the best idea to find the biggest, baddest motherfricker in there and square up to him. It's a bad idea. And one that's been perpetuated by TV and movies. That poo will get you jumped, or worse, shanked. See all those rip dudes in the prison films? That don't exist. In fact, there's a good chance there will be no weights there at all. It's really easy to get fat in prison. Poo food, little to no rec time, and the best way to pass the time is by sleeping. Learn how to use the word no, and learn how to repeat it. People will ask you to do some dumb stuff in prison. People will ask for stuff for free. People will try to scam you out of stuff. If you're too nice, you're an idiot, plain and simple, and people will take advantage of that. You may have seen the comedy skit The Mexicans Got on Boots. If you haven't, look it up. That's actually true. If you see a large group of people, all with boots on, it's about to go down. That being said, stuff hardly ever goes down. Contrary to popular belief, nobody actually likes fighting. Too much work. Most prisoners are lazy as frick, and they don't want to do anything but waste their time until they get to see the outside again. Don't frick with them. Nobody will frick with you. Unless you're an idiot that can't say no. I wonder what this whole boots thing's about. I'm going to have to watch that comedy skit, aren't I? Anyone else? Keep your space clean. Don't touch anyone else's stuff unless you ask first. Don't gamble if you don't know what you're doing or can't pay. Don't flush your toilet after lights out. And finally, don't loudly drag your fricking chair across the floor of the mess hall. Pick it up and carry it instead. Basically, don't be an inconsiderate douche and you'll be fine. California felon here. Some advice. Race is a big deal. You generally roll with a car. The whites, blacks, Mexicans, or the others. There are subgroups as well. I decided to not roll with any group. I don't believe that race creates any difference between people, and I know how to defend myself. I had to fight about 30 dudes because of this. If you want your stay to be calm and peaceful, just join a car and don't start rubbish with anyone. If you want to be a man of principles, good luck. Mind your own business. That's the golden rule. Don't ever call anyone a witch, ever. I'm not racist, this is just politics, but don't share your food or anything for that matter with black people. Don't ever rack up drug or gambling debts. And most importantly, don't ever divulge any type of information to the COs. Nothing whatsoever. This includes things like who's involved in a fight, even if you were right there and saw everything. You will be labelled a snitch and be forced to lock it up, which means you'll be placed under protective custody. The ultimate shame in prison. And don't even get me started on the day-to-day procedures you have to follow. Each car has their own, and it's a sort of militaristic regimen you have to adhere to, or suffer a beating if you can't get with the programme. Plus all the little rules you have to follow when it comes to showering and using the toilet and things like that. You will always have eyes watching you. Privacy does not exist. Get to know your cellie. You'll spend most of your time together. Mine was seriously bipolar. Got to know him and I knew when he was having a bad spell and could talk him through it. Also, anything you want can be gotten for you, for a price. You'll quickly get into a routine of sleep, work, and eat. I hated getting a day off from work. It made the day longer. Wow, you'll never hear anyone say that, will you? That they hated getting a day off work. That's the absolute dream. But geez, this all sounds really terrifying, I can't lie. I would say don't let anyone frick with you. I was only in jail for 2 months for an assault charge, but people did try and frick with me and I bucked back. I didn't start a fight or anything, I just didn't back down. If people in there know they can walk all over you, then they will. If you stand your ground, you might actually gain a little respect with some people and make friends. Knowing someone has your back is a pretty good asset. Oh yeah, and if you have a bunkmate that sleeps above or below you, don't whack off. Saw this guy get his butt kicked because he wouldn't stop jerking it at night and was asked to stop but just continued to do it. Don't let anyone frick with you, outside of gang members, even in the slightest way. If someone takes something from your dinner tray, for example, throw down and beat their butt. The real predators in jail only look for weak victims. Show them you aren't weak and will defend yourself and you've got a shot. Also, don't be generous with items from the commissary. That's seen as a sign of weakness too. I'd get confused with all of this stuff, honestly. It's like different personality traits every day. Don't talk to that guy, but talk to this guy. Speak to that guy, but don't talk to this guy. Do this, don't do that. I'd get far too confused and end up being beaten up, basically. Having served some time, here's a few tips I can share with you. Don't smile. Might sound extreme, but trust me, it isn't. Walking around with a smile on your face might annoy an inmate serving a longer sentence than you. Basically, how they explained it was, there's nothing here worth smiling about. Keep to yourself and you won't be bothered. You might end up socialising with inmates in the end, but don't approach people and just expect to start a convo. Ration your food. Breakfast, lunch and supper are all served at the same time each day, so it's always a smart idea to keep some food or snacks in between each meal. Trust me, being hungry in jail is the worst thing. Ration up, barter or trade, etc. Just try and not go hungry. One night I had to survive with nothing but mustard packages. Keep clean. Body odours might get you beat up. Seriously, this dude came into camping and was wearing wet shoes, and when he took them off, it stunk up the whole place. He was told to go shower and refused until he was physically threatened by other inmates. Shower daily. Do your laundry when you're able to. Don't overuse your phone privileges. There's other people waiting to make calls. Don't take your sweet time. Each wing has a committee that's run by the inmates. They hand out tasks and are basically there to keep order when the guards aren't there. Don't frick with them and you'll have nothing to worry about. If there's a beef, it needs to be brought up to them before any action is taken. They decide what happens next. Don't go asking inmates what they're in for. That's a very big no-no. Some might open up to you and spill the beans, but don't ask. Let them be the one to tell you. Asking around might label you as a narc or snitch, and that's something you do not want. Don't hate on the food. Trust me, it might look, smell and taste like poo, but witching about it will not fix anything, and again, will give the wrong impression to other inmates. If you're able to buy cigarettes or tobacco from the canteen, do it. Even if you don't smoke, it can be used as currency or to barter for goods and services. Speaking of canteen, make sure you have funds in your canteen account. You don't want to go through a week or two without necessities. Don't make a huge deal when you finally get released. Just like the smiling thing mentioned earlier, someone staying around longer than you might take it the wrong way and do something about it. But the best tip I can give you is this. Stay the frick out of jail. Thank you for the best tip ever. Guys, I hope we all follow that tip. Let's stay out of jail. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos coming daily.